Mark Mundy for MMAfighting.com at Bellator 214 Media Day with Ryan Bader, who fights Fedor Emelianenko for the Bellator heavyweight title, and in the finals of the Bellator Heavyweight World Grand Prix on Saturday at the Forum. Ryan, fighting Fedor, it's for the tournament final. It's for the Bellator heavyweight title. This has to rank pretty highly for you as far as big fights, does it not?
Oh, 100%. There's two different sides of that. All what you just said, you got to take that into account, right? And it's a huge fight, pinnacle of my career right here. But I'm not approaching it like that either. I'm approaching it like it's any other fight, just like last fight. Every fight you have in front of you is a big fight. You can be coming off a loss and don't want to have two in a row, or you can be just like in this tournament, first round with King Mo. I wanted to make it to the finals. I wanted to become the heavyweight champ. I have to win that fight to get there. So that's how I'm approaching this fight. But at the same time, hell yeah. I mean, if we're sitting here, I'm fighting one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in a Grand Prix style tournament in the finals for the heavyweight championship and the potential to be two-division champion. So it's big. It's definitely big.
So you're in the cage tomorrow night at the Forum.
I'm fighting tomorrow?
Oh, sorry. Saturday night. Yeah, by the way, it's tomorrow. Could you imagine? Oh, yeah, by the way, it's tomorrow. Saturday night at the Forum. And standing across from you is Fedor Emelianenko, the last emperor, perhaps the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Yeah.
Does any part of you go like, oh?
No, I've already replayed that in my head already. Last couple, through training camp and whatever. I've been in that situation quite a few times in my career. In the UFC, I come from the Ultimate Fighter, and then I remember I was fighting Keith Jardine, my first big name fight, and I was like, wow, do I belong here? This and that. And go out there, and I'm like, okay, yes, I do. What I tried not to do is put Fedor on a pedestal. That doesn't mean I don't respect him at all. I respect him tremendously, but I try not to put him up there. I try to look at this as it's any other fight, and he has his strengths and weaknesses just like any other fighter. It'll be surreal afterwards, but I look across the cage and I see Fedor of right now, of January 26, 2019 Fedor. That's who I'm looking at. Just another fighter that is trying to take the heavyweight championship, belt out of my hands, and I want to go out there and become that two-division champion, become the heavyweight champ. But big fight for sure.
Something different about him, though, isn't there? He's not like a regular opponent. He's a very hard guy to read.
Yeah.
You ask him questions. He's very quiet. I asked him a few minutes ago, does he have any hobbies? And does he watch movies? Pretty much no answer. I don't think he has any hobbies. How do you deal with someone who is so hard to kind of decipher in some ways?
It's kind of nice, actually. There's no banter back and forth.
No banter.
I'm respectful of him. He's always been super respectful. He represents himself in the sport great. Anytime we've seen each other throughout this tournament, we go up and say hello. He's got a big smile, and that's about all that I get from him and gather from him. But he has an aura about him. He's one of those guys that he has that Fedor mystique, and all that comes with it. When I told people that weren't aware of who I was fighting, what I was doing, you get that, who you fighting? Fedor, and they go, and I'm like, calm down, but it's all come to this point, and it's the perfect storm. When I was in this tournament, I looked across the different side of the bracket, and like, man, it would be cool to make it to the finals, myself, and to win, but to have Fedor make it, and it's that much sweeter that it's a true heavyweight in the finals with me. It's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and I have the potential to cap this heavyweight tournament off of winning the belt, being a two-division champion, and then beating one of the greatest heavyweights of all time to do that. So it's all coming together for me.
Maybe it's a bit premature to ask, but do you think after this fight, of course, I know you feel you're going to win, do you think it'll be a heavyweight defense next or a light heavyweight title defense next?
Yeah, I haven't thought too much about it. It's one of those things where me and my team have to get with Bellator and see what their plan is for me, and see what our plan is also. And if it's something where it makes sense, big fight wise, financially, all that kind of stuff, for my career, we're gonna do what everybody wants, but we all got to come to the same conclusion too. Sure. So I'll be in a good position in holding two belts, going out there and getting this win. And it's one of those things where I'm not done yet. I feel the best of my career. This is the pinnacle. It doesn't get any bigger and better than this. It doesn't. Where do you go from here? You have title defenses, right? But this is accumulation of it all. Everything else is fun and gravy, but right now is the big one.
I think what some people don't know about you is that recently, and kind of during this run a little bit, you've had some upheaval at the gym. I mean, Power MMA is kind of no longer a thing. What is your situation now at home in Arizona in training camp?
Yeah, we trained in that facility with just a pro team right now. I bought a piece of land out there, building a building on that. We're gonna have a gym in there too, because I'll always have to have a place to train. Yeah, we didn't really miss a beat. We have that core group of guys that's always been around, and I'll bring guys in if I need be. This one, we brought in one of my old training partners, Daniel Serafin, who just throws bombs at me the whole time. So we had some great sparring, but everything is good. Great time of my career, great time of my life right now, and this is fun. I'm sitting here a couple days out from the fight, like I said, with the ability to make some history.
You're obviously, like you said, this is the pinnacle of your career right now. You're on this great run in 2 divisions, could be the first Bellator double champ, and it has people wondering, well, if Ryan Bader was a free agent right now, what kind of offers would he command? Is that anywhere in the near future for you, or you still have some fights left under Bellator?
Yeah, I have one fight left after this.
One fight.
This fight, yeah. And I'm extremely happy here. I'm just coming over here. I got a title shot right away at MSG, defended it, and then got asked to do this heavyweight tournament. I've kept my head down, but done my job, and made it to the finals here, and to be a 2-division champion, 1 fight left on your contract. I'm sure there's some champion clauses in there and whatnot, but it's a good position to be in, but I'm happy where I'm at. And so that's what I'm saying, where, get this done and Bellator and we get together and plot the next path for me. It's definitely a good situation.
So you're pretty content with Bellator. You're not going anywhere. You're here.
Yeah, I'm very content, but you always got to look out for yourself doing this business, and so, what's best for me. And so I assume and hope that, we get together and definitely get something going. And because I love Bellator, I want to stay here. I've been having a great time. I love the people, and I get to do cool shit like I'm doing right now, fighting in this Grand Prix tournament.
All those things we talked about at the beginning about fighting Fedor, heavyweight title, the Grand Prix, add on to that going into possible the last fight on your deal. That's some leverage you have, my friend.
Yeah, I don't look at it like that, though. I keep my head down and get the job done. That's what I got to do. I got to go out there and beat Fedor. And it's fun. I don't let all that outside stimuli and all that kind of stuff get to me at all. It's just another fight for me. Afterwards, I can look back and say, man, how cool was that? But right now, feeling great. I just got to go out there and compete. That's it.
Last thing, I'm sure you followed this. I know you're in training camp, but I'm sure you've seen a little bit of this. Your former opponent, Jon Jones, this whole thing where he keeps kind of having abnormal drug testing and California Commission and USADA letting him fight, even though he still has that steroid metabolite that's coming up in the system once in a while. What are your thoughts on this as a guy that, you guys kind of came up together as 2 of the top prospects in the 205 division?
Man, I would have some thoughts on it if I was competing in that organization in the UFC, and if I was, if I was a potential opponent or if I was fighting them. But I'm so far removed from that right now. I got my own stuff to think about. So, if his opponent's not worried about it, if the organization's not worried about it, I have nothing to worry about. So it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind. I don't really put too much attention to it. No sweat off my back.
With everything that and how good you've gotten over the last few years, any part of you think to yourself like, man, I wish I had that fight back. I wish I had that rematch with him at some point in the future.
I mean, yeah, all your losses, and he's not the same fighter, and I'm not the same fighter, back then when we fought. Same with my, really any fight that I've had before this. It's just one of those things you can definitely grow every fight. But there was a time where I was in there and I was just a tough wrestler. I didn't know what the hell I was doing other than that, and I kind of hit my stride a little bit around the Rashad fight of kind of like, okay, I know what I'm doing a little bit on my feet and all that, and it slowed down. And so that's a cool experience. But, you always want to get those fights back. But, I don't dwell on the past. I learn and get better, and I pride myself on being better every time out. I've had a few hiccups in my career, of course, like anybody else, but it's how you take it. You can be down on yourself, or you can just learn and grow.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Not tomorrow,
Thank you.
Saturday. Thanks, Ryan.